Hi everyone. Now in this session I'm going to teach you about the SQL language. Whenever we are discussing about the database testing, I must recommend everyone supposed to understand about the SQL language. This is a very simple and straightforward one. Anyone can easily learn. You just need to understand the syntax of SQL language. Simple words, I would like to say SQL is a standard language for storing, manipulating, retrieving the data in the databases. So these are the actions: storing, manipulating, and retrieving the data in the database you're supposed to perform whenever you are doing the backend testing. Now the question is that there are so many data sources like the SQL, MySQL, SQL Server, Access, Oracle, Sybase, Informix, Postgres, and other database system. But every different data sources, the SQL language syntax will almost remain same now. So without wasting your time, let's talk about the SQL language. What is SQL? SQL stands for Structured Query Language. So here you need to let your access and manipulate the databases. And this is the real time you need to do the database testing now on the real time data sources. And you need to run, this is basically the abbreviation of American National Standard Institute, ANSI, which basically developed on 1986, and one of the international organization ISO in 1987. Now the question raised here that what we can do for SQL. The first of all, the SQL can execute the query against a database. So suppose you are retrieving customer information, a specific customer information. So if you just run a query, you will be able to getting and executing your respective records will be presenting in front of you. And SQL can retrieve the data from a database, just like in a previous example I was showing you in last session. Like whenever we are specifying the relevant customer name, so those records should be presenting in front of you. And then SQL can insert records in the database. Also SQL can update records. So let's say if I have a record and mistakenly my name is not specified correctly, so with the help of update query I can update my records, I can change my name, I can change my personal information, I can revert my all the personal information or whatever I can do now. So with the help of update query I can do this thing as well now. And then there is one of the most important query. You must try to understand how to delete a specific record. So for example, if my records enter couple of times, so how I will be able to remove my duplicate records? So if I know about the query, I can easily run that query and can delete my specific record. So after that, if you're supposed to do to create a new databases, how you can create a new databases, if you just learn about creating a new databases, you can easily understand about the creation of the new databases now. And this is something a very straightforward and easy to learn commands now. And then SQL can create new tables in a database. And SQL can also create stored procedure in database. This is for the advanced level uh, functions which normally are using for the database administrator, but you just don't need to worry about the stored procedure. If you just understand about the execution, retrieval, insertion, updation, deletion, creation, and the new table, so those things are more than enough as you know in your stage right now. So more you will be progressing, then time by time you will be learning the new stuff as well now. And then SQL can create views in the database, and SQL can set permission. You can set the permission that who can view your customer tables. And let's say if you have a team of 10 people or 20 people or 100, and you are just granted them some of the privileges that they can only access or they can only view or edit or delete, so you can apply the permissions for a specific table, procedures, and views. So the point here, SQL can execute queries against a database, retrieve the database, insert the query, update the records, and delete the records, and all these informations we will be able to perform very easily now. So let's talk about the SQL query select statement syntax. So the select statement is used to select the data from a database. The data returned is stored in a result table called as the result set. As you can see here in this diagram, this is the syntax basically for the select command. You just need to specify, the select, and after that you need to specify the columns of your table. So let's say in the SQL Server or Oracle, whatever the columns you have now, you just need to specify the columns like this, and after that you need to specify your expected table name. So once you specify this information, then you can run your query and you will be able to get your all the respective columns information. So if you see there, like select static means I am saying to the SQL Server, Oracle, or any of the data source that please show me all the records from the table name. And let's talk about the real-time example. Now here I am saying to the data source, the SQL Server, that please show me those records whose customer, show me the column of the customer name and the city from the customer table. So only I am looking forward the two columns, instead of I'm not want to see all the respective columns. So I'm just interested in the two columns. I just run this query, and after that I will be able to get successfully only those 91 records who are exist in the customer table, and their names and cities are showing in front of me. So this is how the power of SQL statements you can do, you can play, and you can retrieve the information as per your own requirement, and do the testing like in a front end when you were entering your these columns information, either they are mapping in a similar way or not, and if they are not mapping, then you need to report the bug. And here you will be able to see like the different column names and from the customer tables, and all the informations are showing in front of you. So now I would like to recommend you, there is a one website, and I strongly recommend that each one of you must try to understand about this website now. And there are all the informations are showing here, and you can get all practice here. Let's say I am sharing this URL with you in the content section, so you can get and grab and do the practice yourself. So if I would like to run only those records, distinct means unique records from the country and the customer table. So if you just click here, the editor will be presenting in front of you. And if I just run the SQL, you will be able to see that I am getting all the unique country names from the customer table. So in the similar way, if I navigate then, and if I would like to do like I want to count the distinct unique country from the customer, how I can do now? So if I just click here, I am saying that select count, and then the distinct country, like unique country, which should not be duplicate countries now, not repeating again from the customer table. So if I just run here, I will be able to get the count of there are 21 unique countries. So similar is the case if I come back and do the SQL where, and I want to apply some of the conditions, and how I can do now, I just specify the column names and the table and then the condition. And here I just want to run like I want to see those records from the customer table who are belongs towards the Mexico City. So if I just click here and then click run SQL, I will be able to get only those records who are exist the country from the Mexico. Now let's talk about the SQL and or functionality. So if I just click here, and how I can apply some of the conditions with the combination of and or. And means that both conditions needs to be true, and the or operators we are using whenever we are displaying that any of the condition will be true. So if there are two condition and if any one of the condition is true, so I will be able to get the respective result. So this is how you can present the syntax like select respective columns and the table name and then the condition 1, 2 and 3. And after that, let me show you the practical example. I am saying that please show me all those records from the customer tables where the countries belongs towards the Germany and the city belongs towards the Berlin. So if I just try it now and then click on the run SQL, I am getting this condition is getting true now. So both condition is true because I was be able to getting a one record who belongs towards the Germany and their city was Berlin. But what if I apply here the OR condition and then run again? So now you can see there are 11 records because one conditions that they belongs towards the Germany, but the second condition was not true for all the records. Only one records are showing for belongs towards the Berlin. But now I will be able to get the rest of the 10 records as well because the first condition was getting true. So if you are having a such kind of requirements where you need to apply the multiple conditions, so use the word of and or operator. Now click on the SQL by order by. So here order by is the reserved word and we are normally using for showing our records in the form of ascending or descending order. And how we can apply the ascending and descending order is basically if you just navigate down the real-time example. So try it yourself and just I'm saying that select static that please show me all the records from the customer table order by country. If you not specify ascending and descending after the column name, this will be showing the records from the smallest to the largest one now. So if you just run on the SQL, now you will be able to see that order by country and there is a column country, so alphabetically this is showing now starting from A, then B and then C and D. So the data is sorting ascending way. But what if you are just specifying after the country as a descending? Now you can see that the color is changed to blue, and if I run again, now you will be able to see that largest to smallest are showing. So here the starting from the largest one and then order is totally changed. So this is how you can retrieve the data and see the beauty of the data, that this is how on the back end you're supposed to do the testing in a similar way. So if you are validating some of the records and from the back end and have some of the business requirement like this, you can apply a query like this and can manipulate and validate the respective records now. So after that, if you just click here and it's SQL insert into statement. So suppose if you need to add some of the records, or if you are creating a first time your SQL server table and the database, and this is the syntax you need to specify, like insert into table name, the column name you need to specify, and then the respective value you need to specify. So let's take a real-time example. I am saying that in the customer table, for the customer name, contact, city, address, these are the column names, and in these columns name I'm saying to SQL that specify this record. This the value of the customer name is the cardinal and then the contact name and all the information. So if I just click here and then the run SQL, now my one record is successfully saved in my database now. And if you need to verify again, then you need to select static from the customer table and you will be able to get the new record which we just created now. And let's say if you are having a business requirement that you need to validate that how many records have the null values, or you entered from the front end, but the record is not basically showing in your back end. So you need to validate your null values here now. So the null value function will be helping you to understand about to retrieving the null records. So how you can do now, you just need to navigate down and specify your respective column name. And I am interesting from the customer table that please show me those addresses who are null. So if I just click it now and then the run query, I will be able to get no result because there is no address is there who is null. So this is how you can run this query and play around as per your requirement. And if I just click here on the update, so if you suppose having a records, my name, my record exist, and I want to change my name or my personal information or whatever it can be. So you need to use the reserve word as a update, then specify the table name, and then set that contact name update like this, where the city like this, and where my customer ID is this. So what will happen now, whatever the contact name previously stored, you can manually update and run a query from the backend and can change the city and the contact name while specifying your respective customer information. So if I just click here and then run, now you will be able to see that I just run here and one row is affected now. So similar is the case, you can delete it now. And after that, if I just navigate down and I just say that delete from the customer table where customer name is, let's say Asim or whatever the person can be. So if I just try it now and then they run the query, now the one row is affected. And this is how you can play around and can delete, update, retrieve the all the respective information. And if I just want to get some of the top rows, like I just said that show me the top 5 rows or the specific one. So you can say select static from the column name order by this one where row number is less than or equal to number. So let's try a real-time example. I'm saying that top 3 rows shows now. So if I just run here, so this shows me only top 3 rows. So in the similar way, if you want to limit that only 3 records is showing, so you can just run the limit function and the only 3 records are showing. And then the minimum and maximum, now these are the functions you can use, you can play around. Like I want that minimum prices as is show me the minimum prices from the customer products table, and this is the called as the alias. Like the column of I want to specify the column name. So if you after this minimum function and specify the column name and after the reserve word as, I want that this name should display in my column name. So how this is displaying, if you just run it here and click run SQL, now this column is showing. So this is how you can play around and apply all the rest of the function like average, count, and all the informations you can easily play around. You can apply the select count product ID, how many product ID exist in my product table. So if I just run here 77 product count, I will be able to get now. And if I just I want to see that show me some of the records who starting with character A or B, and these are some patterns. Like if you want that, you need to show those records who starting with any pattern finds in your string with A character. And if you are looking forward that the customer name finds any value that ends with A, so this is the pattern you need to use. Or if you want that in your customer name or words, if you just specify this pattern, so find any values that have or in any position. And this is like the second position, and this is like the second length in character, and starting position and ending position. So let's try the real-time example. Select static from this customer where customer like this. So if you just click here and the run, now the customer name starting with the A character is showing now. So you can change the patterns and apply all these patterns, and you will be, and now I would like to say the end with the A character, and if I just click here, so now this is ending with the A character. So you can change the pattern. You can practice as much as you will do the practice in the real-time SQL server, the more confidence you will get now. And in the same way, wildcards are the one. These are the functions, advanced level functions you can play around, like a city where again you are applying the patterns and see the result. So in query is all about, if you just apply the in query, if I just I am saying that please show me those records whose country in between Germany, France and UK. If I run this now, so those records are showing whose countries belongs towards these three ones now. As you can see, all those records are shown. Now between, if you would like to see the records between specific price, so I'm saying that show me those products whose price is between the 10 and 22. If I just click here, the data is loading now. So you will be able to see the pricing between the two ranges now. So you can specify the ranges and you will get your respective columns now. So after that, if you just navigate down SQL alias, so what is mean by alias? That if you have some columns or table and you want to assign a temporary name, so alias are often used markdown names as readable prospective you are using, and any alias only exists in the duration of the query. So once query will be removed, your alias will be removed as well. So alias is created with the help of reserved word as a as keyword. So here again, you need to show customer ID. You said that as show this name, customer name show as only the customer from the customer. So if you just click here and then the run query, now you can see this is the original name, but we replace this original name with the ID, and this is the reserved word as you need to specify. Similar is the case that we said that instead of showing this name, show me this name, and you can see here. So you can do the practice. The more the practice you will do, and the more the result you will get now. So similar is the way there are some more queries advanced level. I would like to say like the joins query. If you would like to concatenate the records between the two tables, you can apply the join queries, the inner query, the left join, the right join. So all these things are we are using whenever we having a plan for concatenating and appending and merging the record set now. So then we need to use this one. So let's say this is the real-time example now. So inner join means that both the table have the similar records. Left join means that show me those records who are exist in the table 1 all records, and also join similar records who are exist in the table 2. So this is called the left join. And the right join means show me all those records from the table 2 as well as the merge ones who are similar in both the tables now. So the full join that show the ones who are matching ones, and also show the all the records from the table 1 and the table 2. So how you can perform the query? You just need to select the query from the order table, and then you can say left join from customer table. So this is how you can apply the real-time example. If I just navigate down, I'm showing that order ID. Order is the table name, and dot we are replacing to specify the column name. And then the inner join I am applying on the customer, and I am saying that inner join on the customer order ID equal to the customer order ID now. So both those columns are having a association with each other, customer and order table, and one customer can order multiple orders in order table now. So we are just concatenating them now, and if I just run here and if I just click here, you will be able to see that my customers informations are showing with respect to a particular order ID now. So you can play around, you can merge around, you can develop the relationship between the one table and another table with the reserve word of dot, and the join is the reserve word, and here the left join, the outer join, and you are merging on the basis of common column. And the cardinality, there is a concept which is called as the cardinality. So the cardinality means that the relationship between one table and the second table, either this is the one to one to many, or many to many. And you can learn these terms more in detail from the internet and from here as well. All the detailed informations are also specified now. So after that you can apply the left join, and this is how our goal is, like, show us only those records, the full number of records who are exist in the first table, but also the matching one shows who are exist in the table 1 and table 2 now. So this is how you can perform the query now. And this is the syntax, like customer table, customer name, and order table, order ID from the customer. And I am saying that the left join from the order table on the customer table ID is equal to the customer ID. So this is the matching one. Show us the matching one, but also show us all the records who are exist from the left table, the first table now. So if I just click here and then run this query, I will be able to get all those records who are exist in the left table, which is the customer table, all records, and the joining with the merging with order table now. So the customer table records all showing, and plus the matching rows, both the tables are showing now. So this is how you need to practice, and you need to review and run the query and see the behavior of the result of all the records now. So similar is the case. The right said that I am interesting to show only those records who are exist in the form of your not only the first table but also from the second table now. So all the records from the second table should show, also the matching records between the table 1 and the table 2. So again, this is the query, last name, employee, employee first name from the order table. And I'm saying that employee right join, show me all the records, the right table, the employee ID is equal to employee ID now. So this is order table and right table, our records are showing from the employee side now. So if I just click here and the run, I will be able to see all the records from the employee table are showing, and the matching one is also showing with the both tables now. So this is how these are the most common queries. I strongly recommend from the beginner level you need to understand, and for the other queries like the null functions and store procedure, even at this stage you can learn these ones yourself, but I strongly recommend that from the beginner level most of the queries are you need to understand and you need to practice a lot, starting from the intro to the joins, which I just coach you, and then the apply, the insert, and the selection, and all these functions you need to understand now. So I hope that got the idea about how to do the database testing, the real time, and you can also create your databases. How to create the database, if you just navigate here and use these commands in the SQL server. And I would like to recommend that each one of you should go towards the Microsoft SQL server. You can download or you can get the services on the Azure Cloud SQL server. Yeah, just try to get started, create your online account on cloud, and do the practice whatever I coach you in this session, and hope that this valuable session will help you to transform your journey of software testing. And all these commands are specifying how to drop the table, how to create the table, and how to apply the primary key functions. You can drill down all these respective information in detail, and that's all about the database testing. These are the part for the creation, but most of you, I strongly recommend, must know about how to retrieve the data, how to update the data, how to delete the data, and in a simple words, The term which I coach you today is called as the CRUD operation. So CRUD operations you must know. So what does mean? C mean create query, R mean retrieve records, U mean update records, and D mean delete records. So I humbly request all of you, you must learn all these four operations. If you believe me, learn these four operations and can apply all the conditions which I just coach you in the today's session, you will be great. So that's all about database testing, and thank you very much for watching this session.